So welcome to Yin Yoga, and today we'll start on our back. Yay! So on your back, make sure you have available a strap, maybe blocks and or a bolster or a rolled up towel or blanket. And when you come onto your back, come into the traditional teepee pose, knees together, feet apart. And take a moment to sink into the back. Feel the hips relax. Almost like you're getting heavier. And tie that heaviness to your exhale. So as you exhale, just like you would in the water, you start to sink. You lose buoyancy. As you inhale, you start to feel yourself rise up. Relax the arms 45 degrees, palms face up, beside the hips. Now start to add a muscular contraction in the belly as you exhale. As you breathe out, push the low back into the mat and feel the tightness in the core, in the hip flexors. So you get heavy on the exhale, and you tighten up a little bit in the front, and the back body starts to push into the earth. Open the knees gently, so they're hip width distance apart. And then gently rock the knees from side to side. So you just feel a movement in the hip, lubricating the femur, the hip. You feel the abdominals on one side stretch. Now just to explore the difference, bring the feet closer together so the feet are touching. Notice how that changes a twist. And then explore what it's like to bring the feet very wide to the edges of the mat. So feel these different sensations in the thighs, the adrenals, the hip flexors, the low back, with the different positions of the feet. Once again, feet moderate, hip width. Feet together. And then feet extra wide. Now as the knees move to the left, bring the right hand over the head. Stretch out and hold. So feet wide, lumbar twist, reaching with the opposite hand. Relax and grow heavy on the exhale. Sink into that twist. Three more breaths in. Inhale, knees to neutral, arms to neutral. Take 2 breaths here and sink on the exhale. Feet wide, fall knees to the opposite side, and the diagonal arm reaches overhead. If you have any shoulder issues, bring something under the hand to alleviate any pain in the shoulder. Relax and grow heavy on each exhale. Three more breaths. Inhale, a knees to neutral, arms to neutral, sink into the mat. And then walk the feet a little closer to your hips as you push down with the feet, lifting the hips into a bridge pose. And take a block and bring the block onto its lowest setting, underneath the hips, and relax. Extend legs carefully. Push through the heels, curl the toes back. Strong, engaged legs. Now you could be on a bolster instead of a block if that feels more comfortable. Then hug yourself with the right elbow on top of the left elbow. Dracula pose. And carefully bring the hands together into eagle arms. So you keep the elbows locked, hands together, keep the elbows locked, squeeze, squeeze. And then gently release the arms to the side, bend the knees, push down with the feet, and lift the hips up a little higher. Roll the block onto its next level of height. For me, that's the height with the block on its edge. So I'm up higher than I was before. Now, if that's too much for your back, place a towel over the previous block position just to bring it up a little bit, or use a bolster and a towel. So you're just going up a little bit and carefully extend the legs out. This time point the toes, point the toes. Point the toes and start to feel the hip flexors open up, where the thighs meet the hips. Come into Dracula pose with the opposite elbow on top. I think that's left elbow on top. And then bring the hands together. My hands, because of my injured shoulder, I'm going to use a strap between my top hand and my bottom hand. And walk the hands together if you can, and if you can't, use the strap. Gently bend the knees. Release the strap by the hands. Carefully lift up and remove the block. Knees together, feet apart, TP pose. Take 5 breaths here in TP pose. Each exhale being an invitation to relax the back. Now we're in a deeper back bend for quite a while there. Carefully lift only the right knee towards the ribs and extend the left leg out. Keep pushing through the left heel. The left leg is an axle about which the body is going to revolve. So the left hand only holds the right knee. Right hand comes out onto the floor, and you're going to pull that knee over the body into a lumbar twist. Let the foot come down to the leg or the floor. Turn the head to the opposite direction. Three more breaths in this lumbar twist. Can you relax and go heavy with each exhale? Carefully releasing the twist. Come onto your back and grab the same knee again and pull it towards the ribs. Turn the head in the opposite direction to the left. And grabbing the right foot, squeeze into pigeon on the back. So you squeeze the knee and the foot, one in each hand, towards the chest. And then float the left knee, the opposite knee, into the ankle, or the thigh into the ankle. So you come into your figure 4 squeeze, figure 4 squeeze. To deepen the squeeze, you can grab the shin of the left leg and pull it in. If you can't reach the shin, you can use a strap around the shin. Now start to push the shin into the clasped hands. So you feel your shoulders come away from the neck. You feel like the stretch is transferred from the hips to the shoulders. So this isometric push between the shin and the fingers, releasing the neck and shoulders. Relax the squeeze as you straighten the bent knee, the left leg, heel to heaven, and grab the hamstring. And for those who want to, I want you to carefully climb the left leg. Just climb one hand over the other. So you feel the shoulder blades come right apart at the back. You feel the low back, mid back, and shoulders all releasing in the back of the body. Slowly lower, climb back down the leg, rest the left foot on the ground and slide knee over knee, floppy shin. Hands out to the side, palms down. 3, 2, 1. Push down with the left foot and lift the hips, Open the hip flexors up here, lift. Then roll onto the left hip into another spinal twist. Let the head turn to the right, the opposite direction. And then let the head, just the head, turn to the left. Inhale to neutral, coming onto your back. Uncross the legs, knees together. Feet apart, clasp the hands behind the head. Keep the low back pressed into the mat as you lift the skull with the hands, wrap the skull and squeeze the skull. Slowly lower the head. And pull the left knee, the opposite knee, into the ribs and straighten the right leg out. Nice big squeeze. Grab the foot and come into your pigeon on the back. Nice squeeze. Continue to squeeze with the strength of the arms. And then right hand grabs the left knee and is going to pivot, twist onto that left knee over to the right side, across the body, and the right arm comes out, arm down. Turn the head towards the back. And carefully turn just the head to the right. Slowly come onto your back and squeeze that knee once more into the ribs, and then grab the foot as you come into pigeon on the back. Super boost pigeon by lifting the right knee into the foot, really releasing the lower back as well here as the piriformis. And then consider grabbing the shin with hands or strap. Now let's use this figure 4 to transfer the stretch to the shoulders by pushing the shin into the fingers, feeling the shoulders come away from the neck. Make sure your head is supported the whole time. We don't want any strain in the neck here. Neutral head tilt, ideal. If you can't get neutral head tilt, either bring something underneath the head or make it thinner. Heel to heaven hamstring. Stretch. Keep holding that hammy. And carefully float the right foot to the earth, holding the figure 4, and then push left knee over right knee, floppy shin. Bring the hands out to the side, palms down. Release the flop. Push down with the right foot. And really push up so you open up the hip flexors before the twist. And then roll onto that right hip. And play with your head position, looking in both directions. Just freeing up the neck. Inhale the head to neutral. Come back to TP pose. 3 breaths. Each exhale, inviting the body to sink and relax. Pick up both knees and hug both knees towards the ribs. And we'll start with a circular motion here. Push the knees. In a circle, one direction. And then change directions. Now we're going to play with a little bit of work with locking the knees. Take the left knee over the right knee like floppy shin and hug floppy shin in towards your ribs. Turn floppy shin in a circle. Other direction. Pause, change the flop. Opposite knee over, hug opposite floppy shin to the ribs, and then circle in both directions. You might need a strap for this, where we're about to go. Rotate the opposite direction. And change the flop. So we should have left knee on top again. And this time we're going to bring the head up towards the knee. So we're kind of in a crunch. So squeezing the knees towards the face, face towards the knees, low back, on the mat. I'm going to slide the hands down to grab the ankles of the opposite feet. Now, if you can't grab one ankle, use a strap. Lay the head down. Relax the shoulders here. We want this to release the shoulders from the neck as well. If your hands can find the ends of the feet towards the toes, that's good. Once again, you can use a strap. Now keep the shoulders relaxed here, but feel the knees melt away from you. The knees are going towards the other end of the mat. As the belly lengthens, as the abdominals start to stretch out, keep a hold of the feet, but walk the elbows or the shoulder blades closer to your hips. So you come into a back bend, you really open up the front body here. You feel the stretch across the chest, you're arching the back, and the knees can come down a little further, perhaps. That's it. So it's the upper body stretch, the back bend is going to help the knees release closer to the mat. Shoulders well and truly away from the neck. This should be really pulling the shoulders down away from the neck. So I've got one knee on the ground, but the other knee's kind of stuck up in the air. Some people will have both knees down low. That's but we're all getting the same stretch here. Now slowly come up and hug both knees in towards the ribs, relax the head. Circle your floppy shin. Circle the other way. Carefully uncross and both heels to heaven. Grab the hamstrings. Dangle the shins, so we're going to have the opposite knee on top. So I've got my right knee on top this time. Hug. Crunch, head to knees, knees to head. Slide down to the ankles and or feet, with or without a strap. And just keep the ankles towards the buttocks, knees stay up at this point. Now carefully find the toes if you can, and start to let the knees melt away from your chest. Try and turn a bit more so you can see that more clearly. And then start to work on your back bend until you can bring the arch of the back as a vessel to bring the knees closer to the mat. And then slowly release over time. Bring the feet back to the mat. Uncross the knees, knees together, TP pose. Three breaths here, relaxing the back with each exhale. Clasp hands behind the hip. Press down with the low back and lift the head. Wrap the skull. Release the shoulders. Release the back of the neck. Squeeze the skull. Keep the low back pressing into the mat. And then finally come down onto your back and relax for 5 breaths in whichever position you want. I'm going to move that little toy that's making all those weird sounds. Batman. All right. And then bring both knees up, rock from side to side. Grab the outside of the feet and bring the feet together. And just flap your knees a little bit. Flap out and in. Supine bound bridge. Now the next time you flap out, the knees push out, you should be able to feel the outer edges of the feet. And if you can't reach the outer edges of the feet, remember you have the strap to hold on to. Start to push the feet into the hands, releasing the shoulders from the neck. And if you can, come into a crunch and do the same thing. Low back stays on the mat, knees wide, feet pressing against hands, unlocking the shoulders. For 3, 2. Now carefully peel the feet back into happy baby. Come onto your back and rock from side to side. And grab your strap. And bring the left foot into the strap. Drop the right foot to the mat, heel to heaven. A few leg raises and lowers here just to feel the mobility in your hip. The next time you come up, transfer both ends of the strap into your right hand, the opposite hand. So my strap's on the left foot, right hand, straighten the right leg out, and carefully bring over towards the floor. Now when you come onto your hip, start to drive out through that left heel, the straight leg, the strapped leg. Now staying on that right hip, bring the other hand over to change the strap, so the strap changes hands. So left hand, left leg, and carefully bend the knee and bring it behind you. And pull it up behind you, really pull it up. Pull that foot up as high as you can. Some of you may even grab that foot instead of the strap. Now start to push the hips, the top hip forward, that left hip forward, really getting into that inguinal. So be creative how you hold the foot. Push the hip forward, really opening up that front hip flexor. And then slowly come onto your back. Keep that foot in the strap. Heel to heaven. So Left hand, left foot are holding the strap and in the strap. Pick up the right knee and hug the right knee in. Nice, that's it. Ooh, really getting into the low back here. All right, let's do our splits here. Slowly separate the thighs. Left leg out, right knee out. Support them with the strap in the hand. Not straining the hips, supporting them. Look for a delicious stretch here. Slowly bring the hips back together and drop the right foot only. Keep the left leg to the sky. And climb your leg once again. Reaching up. Using the leg as a way to release the shoulders, chin to the chest. And slowly lower. Bring that foot back to the floor. 3 breaths here, completely relaxed. Each exhale inviting the body to sink, become heavy. And let's strap up the right foot, the opposite foot. Now the left leg can be straight or bent, doesn't matter. And we'll just do our leg lowers and lefts here. Now extend that left leg on the floor. Take the strap into the left hand. Right hand out as you bring that left leg over the body into your lumbar twist. Now the top hand, the right hand is going to come over the body and change hands for the strap. And as you do, you're going to pull that foot behind you, using the strap or hand on foot, to pull that top knee back and push the top hip forward. Now I'm supporting my head with a block here so it's comfortable, not strained. And be creative with how you pull that foot back and the top hip forward. Really trying to open up that top hip flexor. 2 more breaths here. And as you come back onto your back, extend that right leg to the head, heel to heaven again. Now I know many of you have used the strap with me many times, so if you have any intuition to work the strap in different ways, flossing the foot or anything, by all means, just go ahead. Transfer the strap into the right hand as you lift the left knee back into the ribs. Just pulling both back. Oh yeah, releasing that tight low back area. Abduct the hips. Right leg out, left knee out. Don't overdo it. Just feel it as a delicious opening in the adductors. When you found that delicious point, drive out through the right heel. And just get a little more lengthening in the right adductor. Slowly return right heel to heaven. Extend the left leg out onto the floor. Both hands grab the strap. Option to climb the strap and hold shoulder blades apart, chin to chest. Dangling from the strap or the foot if your hand has grabbed the foot. And slowly release the strap, lower the head, release the leg and relax for 5 breaths here. Straddle the legs a little wider apart. Bend the elbows 90 degrees so the fingertips point towards the ceiling. And we're going to make a Z or a Z shape here with the hands. So the right hand is going to come back towards the floor, and the left hand is going to go towards the floor next to your hips. So from the air you look like a Z shape. So if I can do it so you can see it. and then switch. And then bring both hands back into I give up position, hands up. And I think most of you can see my left shoulder is significantly not cooperating here, so my position doesn't look quite how it should. And then both hands down to scarecrow. And then both hands out to the side. Remember the 5-pointed star here, so we have wide arms, wide legs. Head is the 5th pointed star. Meditate on relaxation here, so each exhale is inviting the nervous system to relax. Each exhale invites the body to soften. Each exhale invites you to become heavier and heavier. To go limp. Once again, feel free to stay in 5-pointed star as long as you like. And when you're ready, you can transition to a seated position as slowly as you like. And just notice how the nervous system and the body feel. Thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.